welcome to another discussion. Sorry if I sound tired. It's like 11 something right now where I am. This is kind of a last minute thing. I decided to, well, since since the Sonic 25th anniversary kind of had a celebration. I think yesterday or this morning as of this recording.
Yep.
I decided to decided to just do one quick video for how long this takes, because there isn't much to talk about in terms of like the trailer that was shown for Sonic 2017. And as you just heard, I had some guy who, this joke's getting old, so I'm not even gonna start it. He is back on YouTube for however long he wants to be. Welcome Zmann4491, the resident Sonic maniac.
What's up, dude? And yes, I am insane based on how many tweets did I do?
I don't know, I wasn't counting.
Oh, it was well over 50 during that 4-hour live stream.
I know for a fact my Twitter feed had that like while you're away, and I just saw a lot of Sonic things related from you on there, and that's surprising considering that you did a lot of Sonic on your channel.
Oh yeah, no, I love Sonic.
A lot. I've been meaning to do that kind of thing. I'm kind of fixing that with something Sonic related, but as for the 25th anniversary, this is going to be more of a Z-Man thing because I was not following this event when it was happening. I have a habit of doing that sometimes.
Well, wasn't much to watch because the actual live stream was probably one of the most awful things I've ever seen. But what we got out of it was two really, really interesting game announcements, which kind of made it worth it. Two game announcements. Did you not see the other one?
I remember seeing something about a Sonic Cross Hello Kitty thing, but I don't know if that was a real thing or not.
That was also a thing, but that's not the other game announcement. That was a thing I completely forgot. And thank you for bringing that up, because it is nightmare fuel terrifying.
I don't really have much of a connection with Hello Kitty, so it doesn't bother me all that much. I'm more like confused because I've never seen that happen.
I think that's basically what everybody took out of that. And it was... I mean, yeah, it wasn't like too awful. I actually knew this was coming from a really weird post I read like a year ago, but I didn't expect it to actually happen.
So what is the other game that I wasn't aware of?
So basically what happened, we got, during the live stream, they started like half an hour late, and then they had freaking dude in a Sonic costume dancing. You can find GIFs of that all over the internet because it was really bad.
Yeah, I read about that. You tweeting what the Sonic costume, but I didn't see anything in. Well, you continue.
And then they went into the actual presentation part. So Aaron Weber, the guy who runs the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter, came out and started to go over, like, for the past year about the Twitter page has been tweeting out a bunch of photos with like random numbers and all this stuff, hints at what they're going to be announcing here at this conference. So he started going through that. And then the audio for the stream completely cut out, so I didn't actually get to listen to any of that. And then the next thing we know, there's a new trailer coming out. It is, you can go ahead and look this up and watch it. Go ahead and just search Sonic Mania. But it is a 2D Genesis-style Sonic the Hedgehog game that's going to be coming out in spring of 2017.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So Sonic Mania is a game?
Sonic Mania is a game.
I thought it was some type of craze.
Nope, that's a game. That's the name of the game.
I remember running into something Sonic related before, and it was just a compilation of Sonic games in years past. Starting from, I think, Adventure 2 and back. I could be wrong, but I was not aware Sonic Mania was a game.
Oh, no.
See, this is what happens when you don't follow live events. The only ones I follow was Pokemon, and that's becoming a little bit strange because now they're releasing information. This is a little bit of a rant, but they're starting to release information when I'm at work or I'm asleep.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Sonic Mania.
Sonic Mania. But it's a 2D game. It's essentially a Genesis game made today. It's made by the guy that did the HD ports of
that was amazing. I never heard that. Oh.
Christian Whitehead, I think his name is, and he's really good. He was basically he was doing like ROM hacks and was so good at it that Sega decided to hire him.
That's amazing.
And in the I can't really go too much into the trailer because I don't remember too much about it. They only showed 2 zones. One was like a popcorn bingo zone, which was kind of weird, and then the other one was just, they're doing reimagined versions of some past zones as well, so like Green Hill Zone's in there. They haven't announced any others, but I'm expecting like maybe a Sonic 3 zone to be in there, maybe a Sonic 2 zone to be in there. Maybe even a Sonic CD zone to be in there because he did the Sonic CD port. But it looks great and all. And I'm extremely excited to play this game because there's no way they can screw this up. It's just 2D Sonic, it's Genesis Sonic. You cannot screw that up. But like, basically after that came out for the next 20 tweets, I was like, wait, that can't be it, right? There's got to be something else. Luckily there was. After we watched Crush 40, the Crush 40, and Hello Kitty stuff that happened. And then apparently, so they brought out all the voice actors for the Sonic Boom show. And the voice actors decided, you know what, we're going to do a table reading of one of the episodes. Apparently that stream didn't know that. So they had to cut away for legal reasons, I'm assuming. And we watched some dude do a Let's Play of Sonic Boom Fire and Ice with the camera over his shoulder videotaping a 3DS screen.
That didn't even go well, did it?
For 5 minutes. And that was awful.
Okay, well, I just watched the Sonic Mania trailer. That was why I was so quiet.
Yeah? What did you think about it?
I was watching it and couldn't really see much new, but other than that little thing, it definitely looks like an old school Sonic 2D platformer pinball style game.
Oh yeah.
And a couple of things need to happen first. Well, a couple of things have to happen for this. The computer I have right now, if it can play it, it would probably be showing up on my channel. Or if I have a new computer by that point, then it will be showing up on my channel. One of those two things will probably happen, but most likely it will, if I can. I'm not making any promises, because promises make a fool out of everybody, especially me. There's a couple of things I really wanted to do, but can never do. Sonic Winter 2 being one of them. But yeah, it looks interesting. I need to see more on it, but I wasn't aware that Sonic Mania was a game, and it definitely looks like it's fan made. All right. I mean, that's not a bad thing, but
that was like the one thing I remember thinking about. It was like, yeah, that's actually a really cool announcement. They're actually making another, like, an official Sonic the Hedgehog 2D game that isn't like Sonic the Hedgehog 4 style. But it really did look like it was just this looks kind of like a ROM hack from. Which it's made by a guy who used to make ROM hacks, so I guess that makes sense. But
I think that's going to be working against it because if he is well known within the Sonic community, then they'll definitely see this. I mean, granted, technically speaking, this is not a AAA title, but a professionally made title since he is a professional now.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is that what's really working against this game right now isn't even the fact that it's a 2D game. It's the fact that it looks like it was fan made, which is sometimes not good in certain circles. But whatever. It definitely looks like it was more production value put into it, though, much more than you could for a fan made project. So
some of the animations that are going into like that game look way smoother than any Genesis game that came before it.
Well, we're in 2016. If that didn't happen, I think we'd really be worried.
Well, that's how you know it's not a ROM hack. That's. I am excited for that game because it's basically going to be like Sonic 3, where you get to play as Tails and Knuckles, and you can play whoever you want throughout any of the stages. I'm assuming Chaos Emeralds will be involved. I'm assuming there will be special stages. I don't know what those special stages would be like. But I mean, I've watched several videos today that were like reactions to specifically that one because that was the trailer that actually gave you gameplay and you can kind of see what the game will be like when it comes out.
Speaking of gameplay,
they came out one more time right at the end. I was live tweeting how I was so worried that there wasn't going to be another one.
Yeah, I saw that.
Another game announcement. And then I found a tweet that had a list of the events, the schedule for the live stream event. And the very last one was called Major Announcement Number 2. So I was like, okay, there's my modern Sonic game. And lo and behold, we are in fact getting another modern Sonic game called nothing right now. It's just called Project 2017. And that was interesting. I don't know obviously there was no gameplay with it. It was just the CG cutscene type thing. But the tone was extremely dark.
Yeah, okay, before I get into that, what I want to do is just kind of like my own PSA. This is something I never actually understood about the Sonic community, and it might just be me, and me being weird, but like some people like to crap on certain Sonic games, and I will have vocally stated this before. I will defend Sonic Unleashed to the day I die. um, but there's certain games that people seem to crap on that I seem to really enjoy, and it might just be me. It might just be me, but I think okay, now I won't be able to defend Sonic the Hedgehog because I really never played that game. Boom, I probably never defend because I really don't care about it, and
Nope.
it definitely didn't have that fresh feel. But people are kind of basing a lot of stuff. I mean, especially it's like I'm gonna say this much: when I first saw the very beginning of that trailer, I was reminded of Shadow the Hedgehog, and that's not a bad thing, at least for me. Well, I guess you can say half and half because like, when I first played Shadow the Hedgehog, I was so freaking against it.
Yeah.
Later on in years, I kind of grown to love it. Just because I kind of like Shadow a little bit more nowadays, but more than most people do. I was reminded, I don't know why this played in my head, that one scene where Shadow was just listening to the radio and he's like, Sonic, why does that name bother me so much? You can almost see it. I guess they kind of reskin that scene with Sonic this time, because you just see his fist clench, and it's like whatever's going on, it's freaking horrible. But
Yeah.
it's I will say like those games aren't as bad as people are saying to be. Now there have been some rotten eggs in the bunch, but I'm not gonna use that as some kind of catalyst to say this game is gonna be bad. Granted, I haven't seen anybody say that yet, but I'm pretty sure there are people out there about to say this is horrible. I will say this much: watching the trailers all the way through, I was kind of shocked when classic Sonic showed up.
Yes.
That confused me because I never played Generations, which is actually kind of funny. And I have Generations on my Steam account.
You really need to play Generations. It's really
If I
good.
if I had the computer to handle it, I might try to see if I can play it. If I can't, I don't even know, because I actually Humble Bundle had like a deal going on where you donate $10, they give you a crap ton of Sonic games, and I have that among other games from Sega.
I actually got that same bundle, so now I have the game on both PS3 and PC.
Yeah, I got that, so now I have a crap ton of Sonic games to play through. But that kind of shocked me, because I'm trying to figure out. So what you said on Twitter is specifically saying that, well, I guess we're going to have another time warp situation going on, which that'd be weird to legitimize, considering I'm not sure how the time warp happened in Generations, but it'd probably be really hard to legitimize the second time warp, because what the heck, unless Classic Sonic stayed behind, and you gotta assume, or actually another thing is that maybe the Classic Sonic world merged with the modern Sonic world, and now you got two Sonics living in the same universe. It's just confusing.
So the way, just to answer your question, the way that Generations worked was, you played Colors, right?
The DS version, I've seen the Wii version though.
You've seen the Wii version where Sonic knocks Eggman out into space and then he's just kind of stranded there?
I think I know, my memory on that's kind of vague.
So, in Generations, the explanation is that Dr. Eggman was out in space after being beat in Colors. Spoilers for everybody, because it's not. This is a pretty big spoiler for Generations. Although Generations' story does not matter at all, so who cares? But Eggman was out in space. He finds this thing that can basically control time, and uses that to do the time paradox thing and get the two Sonics together and all that stuff. So how they could do it here, thinking now here's the fun part. Sonic Lost World,
Fun in quotation marks.
the fun part, the part where I just speculate for the next however long it takes me to speculate, because that's literally all I can do based on this trailer. The fun part is that Sonic Team did not acknowledge Lost World once during this entire live stream. They literally did a little presentation where they showed off Sonic throughout the years with each of the logos of the games, and they literally showed off everything. They showed off Shadow of the Hedgehog, they showed off Sonic 06, they showed off like Black Knight and all that stuff, but Lost World was not in there. And considering that was their latest 3D Sonic game, that really threw me off. And then if you notice at the beginning of the trailer, this game is from the people who made Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations, but not Sonic Lost World.
I think when I first saw that, I think in my mind I must have automatically noticed that myself, because when I look at a Game Explain, sorry about that. When I looked at Game Explain trailer, they brought it up too, and it wasn't something that I was really shocked about. So I think in my mind I was acknowledging it, but physically I wasn't in the moment when I was looking at that thing, because I was more interested in what was past it.
So you can look at that one of two ways. Either they're desperately trying to distance themselves from Sonic Lost World for whatever reason, whether that's they just wanted to take that out of the canon because people generally didn't like that game that much, or the way I'm going to take it is that we're getting the boost formula back, which greatly excites me, and I'm assuming it excites you because that was Sonic Unleashed.
Okay, no, I like the boost formula, but this is kind of one of my bigger problems with it. I'm not saying Unleashed should have its problems. I'm just saying I would defend the game because people seem to crap on it a lot.
Yeah.
There's problems in the game I will not. I played the game all the way through, and Eggland was probably the hardest level I've ever seen in any Sonic game. I'm surprised I beat that game when I did. But one of my bigger problems with it, and I think maybe this got fixed, because I know the boost formula existed one more game past Unleashed before they completely got rid of it.
2 more games.
Yeah, 2 more games. It's basically Unleashed, because I think it might have been the first time they introduced the whole you're running really freaking fast, which really excited me, because I was like, finally! We got an engine that can support Sonic speed. Whenever he hit a sharp turn, and I only did this on purpose because why not? I mean, he's Sonic the Hedgehog. Whenever you did hit a sharp turn, and I don't know why it didn't work like drifting, because I knew that's what I was doing, like car drifting. Whenever you drifted with Sonic, he didn't turn like when you expected him to. He'll wait a couple of seconds before before the speed and the turn compensate for each other and realize what you're doing to be able to zoom off. So you would always, well, at least for me, I'll always hit a wall, and this happened a lot. It wasn't much of a problem in the Africa region. It was a huge problem in I think Italy. Was it Italy?
Is that one's a rooftop run, right?
Spagonia? It was that particular level had a lot, and I mean a lot of walls and corners. Drifting did not work how it was supposed to, and if specifically, since I did go to school for game design, I feel like they intended it to work a lot better than it actually worked for itself. Granted, that might have come down to the fact that apparently they rushed Sonic games a lot back then, so maybe
I think they still do. That's the problem.
Maybe they were intending to tighten the controls and they just didn't get around to it for whatever reason. But yeah, the boost formula coming back is something I actually love. It's probably one of my favorite of the new modern Sonic controls is speed, which Sonic has been known and has been his claim to fame, something that Mario does not have. It's been his claim to fame all this time, and it took like to 06 to get somewhere close to being able to emulate speed like that. And they finally fine-tuned it in Unleashed. It looks like they're coming back, at least from the looks of it. I mean, it does look like Sonic is boosting at the end of the trailer when he's running with Classic Sonic, which, another thing about Classic Sonic is I'm kind of curious, are they going to implement boosting with him too, or what are they doing with him since he's playable?
Potentially, so, in Generations, at the end of Generations, after you beat the game, you can actually unlock the homing attack for Classic Sonic, which actually kind of makes the 2D sections really interesting. So I'm wondering if they're going to implement, are they going to implement the boost with Classic Sonic? Because for all the really fast running that we saw Modern Sonic do, right at the end, it really looks like Classic Sonic does a boost right at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, you actually hear the spin dash when he's running, and that was like, wait, what in the world? That was a Sonic 2, that was a 2D Sonic sound effect. What the heck? Granted, he is a 2D Sonic character,
Yeah.
but still, that 2D Sonic sound effect was kind of what caught me off guard a little bit. I was like, did he just do this? He did the spin dash.
Yeah,
Granted,
we were doing spin dashes. We were doing, because at least one of those looked like a homing attack from Sonic Lost World, where it does a really weird thing, and then Sonic does a spin dash, and you hear the classic jump, and I think you see the boost. Looking at it, I mean, he's like sidestepping, sliding under rubble. This really does look a lot like boost formula type stuff.
yeah, it's surprising how they get the sidestep working correctly, but they couldn't get the drifting on his, because I know that was one of the main mechanics, because you could see it in the levels. They were designing that level for drifting.
Oh yeah,
all over the dang place.
It did get a lot better. Generations, I mean, the drifting still wasn't great, but they did fix drifting a little bit in Generations.
I hope they tweaked it enough to the point where, I mean, since this game has been in work for a long time.
I don't know if they necessarily tweaked the drifting. I think what they did is they basically changed the level design so you didn't need to drift as much, which is another fix.
Yeah, but I kind of wish they just fixed the drifting, because that was my main problem. But I mean, if they didn't make it so that when you go to levels, you don't need to do that, that would be better. So that way it wouldn't be so much of a problem, and I probably won't have to come up to a sharp turn, which is probably my fault. I probably should be drifting a lot earlier than I did when I did come around those corners.
No, you're definitely right. That's like I don't have a huge problem with the Werehog in Sonic Unleashed. My problem is mostly with the way the mechanics, the way Sonic controls in the 3D space, because it's very difficult to control and it's not intuitive at all.
Yeah, you just, at least from the looks of it, like, yeah, it looks like we're going back, but it's just kind of weird to see that they're having modern day Sonic with all his modern day controls with classic Sonic, which something we hadn't seen until like Generations, and now they're both in the same space in a post-apocalyptic city of some sort. It looks like humans are making a return. People probably don't like this.
Yeah,
I could care less because I love Sonic Adventure 2. So,
being one of those guys that's hit or miss about humans coming back, because I don't think I mean, technically Eggman's a human, but I still don't think they fit in that world. Looking at, because the other thing I wanted to get to was like the designs of both the city and the enemies, because I can speculate on that quite a bit too. I've heard tons of different ideas, but this really does look like, oh crap, what's the name of the first city in Sonic Adventure 2? Because this looks like San Francisco.
You mean the name of the first level in Sonic Adventure 2, or the city?
I know the name of the first level, but the city, because this looks like the city from Sonic Adventure 2 to me at least.
It looks like it did come from California, at least from what I'm remembering. But I don't think they ever explicitly stated the city's name. Actually, now looking at it, yeah, you kind of got a point there. It looks like
you can see like the bridge.
The hill.
You can see the bridge in the background. A lot of the architecture looks like a lot of the stuff that you were doing during City Escape. Yeah, there's definitely a big downhill drop when Sonic first jumps down from that rooftop. So no, this is not Rooftop Run, but we can call it Rooftop Run because he's running on rooftop that one time. But you can see, yeah, there's a huge slope going down there that looks kind of San Francisco-ish. But I've also seen people compare this to Soliana and what's the other one? Spagonia, I guess. Rooftop Run from Unleashed.
Yeah, I specifically looking at like some of the enemy placement, I don't know. I don't really have much of a history of knowing the Eggman baddies, unlike you do.
Yeah.
So I really can't speak too much on it because to me they look the same. Now I will admit there have been certain things I've noticed that have never come back, like a lot of the egg-based final boss mechs that Eggman would jump into to fight you. Maybe they come back here. I mean, I know the Eggman or whoever is controlling these robots has a lot of gigantic machinery. Like, I would say this is comparable to like the machinery he had in Unleashed. Like,
honestly, yeah. But the designs of these, the way they move and the way they're designed, with the exception of like the head part, looks a lot like the Death Egg robot design from Sonic Generations.
I have a feeling this might be placed in the same universe. I don't think that they would reuse a city in Adventure since they hadn't Adventure 2 since they hadn't used anything from Adventure 2 until Generations. Now, considering that they redid everything and then they revamped it in the Generations, it could come back. But I want to say that maybe, man, it looks like they combined. Looking at it now, it looks like they combined something from Soliana and they combined Adventure 2. I don't know how they did.
It's like a mesh of Soliana, City Escape, and I guess you could throw a little bit of Crisis City with all the fire and brimstone that's going on in the background.
Yeah, they took a lot of inspiration from. I just don't know where they are. I never really took into consideration a lot of times where they were. I only really paid attention to the level of names, so I really wouldn't know too much about like where in the place in placement of where they are in Earth, if that's where they are.
Yeah.
I can only say that since there's no humans there and Eggman's blowing everything up, either one or two things has happened. The humans managed to run away this time, or there aren't any humans on this world for some strange reason.
Which could beg the question is this just literally Sonic Adventure 2 again? Not Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Generations again, but this time instead of going through the levels as they were, we're going through the levels where Eggman took everything over. Like it's all speculation. And if that was the case, I would be extremely pissed. Because now they're just now they've like given up trying to figure out what to do with Sonic, and they're just gonna throw Generations at you again and again and again until something happens.
Interesting thought came across my mind when I was watching some Game Explain. Somebody had brought up now this is an enemy that I hadn't been introduced until like Sonic Rush Adventure. Eggman Nega. I was not aware of his existence. Apparently, I think he was in Sonic of 06, I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
He was not in Sonic 06. His only appearance has been in Sonic Rush Adventure. And I think Sonic
Rush has only been in that game. Okay, that's kind of good then. Since that was the game I was aware that he was in. He could come back because he has some relation to Eggman. And as we are aware of, there's a hedgehog that we hadn't been using for a long time. And considering that they say at the end of the trailer, join the Resistance, which by the way brought me back to the Archie comics, and actually surprisingly I didn't think about this until now, but the Sonic Underground series, which I love so much. So the Resistance could be something hinting at that. I mean, we might get more characters, but maybe if it isn't Eggman that's doing this and it's just another villain, maybe his great grandnephew, I think is what Nega is. I forgot what he is in relation to Eggman.
I'm pretty sure Eggman Nega, because Sonic Rush Adventure basically takes place in an alternate universe where Blaze the Cat's the hero. So Eggman Nega is just the Eggman of that universe, basically.
Yeah, but they could have him cross over since we've already had to the point where, like,
since we're already doing time travel all over the place and
warping time and space. I mean, even for crying out, Blaze the Cat actually managed to jump across accidentally twice. Yeah, twice.
Although we have no idea what Blaze the Cat's like actual backstory is, considering she's also the friend of Silver the Hedgehog from the future. This game series is weird.
Well, every game timeline has some really messed up. Like, we're not gonna go to that, but it's. I don't even know. I mean, they hadn't reused Shadow ever since the 06 incident, because I don't think I've seen him ever again. Unless you're talking about like party games where he appears in.
He
But he's
appears
never
in
appeared in like actual physical canon. Period. Ever
he's
since '06.
he's a boss fight in Generations, but that's it.
Well, meaningful canon.
Exactly.
He hasn't really meant anything. I kind of wish that they would bring him back, since I, for one, have never played '06 because of all the hate that's had it. So I would love to be able to get a chance to play as Silver, even if it is just for once. Because I'd rather not buy a game that I'm probably gonna hate.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of cool to bring him back. I mean, they had to probably give a reason for him to come back. But then again, it kind of goes into like Sonic the Hedgehog's universe. Has too many characters to play as. I really don't know what's going on here in this thing. All I really know is there's some kind of there's like Eggman or somebody who's using his machines is attacking the world again. And it doesn't seem to be as lighthearted as it was before.
As it
like
has
Sonic
been in
is
the past
running,
like 3 games, yeah.
He is running straight through debris. He has it. He looks like he's set on a mission. I don't know what's going on because, like I said, classic Sonic just appeared out of nowhere. And another thing is, Sonic doesn't appear to be too shocked that he's there. So that means at some point early on, before this happened, classic Sonic somehow crossed the barrier.
Yep.
So he's been there for a minute. He didn't appear to be too shocked. So clearly, he didn't come out of nowhere. He's been there. Which is kind of interesting too. Like, I wonder what kind of is Classic Sonic actually going to speak. Granted, he probably won't because Classic Sonic never had a voice. It wasn't until modern Sonic he got a voice.
Until Sonic Adventure, yeah.
It'd be kind of cool, like to have his spunk that he had beforehand. It'd be kind of cool just to see maybe if you just stand there. Hey, did he ever if you stood there in Classic Sonic and Generations, if you just stood there, would he actually look at you with tapping his foot?
Yes, he would.
That's awesome.
They had most of the classic idle animations from the Genesis games in the classic Sonic of Generations, which was pretty good.
Okay, so they'll be keeping that then.
I'm assuming, yeah.
I mean, the Resistance, I feel like we're gonna probably see Knuckles and Tails again. So you might be seeing Amy.
That Join the Resistance tagline is really interesting because that could mean a lot of things.
So maybe we get some of the canon material for the comics into the game universe.
I doubt that, but I think this does mean that we'll see a lot more of the Sonic friends now. Whether or not we'll be able to play as them is another question, but we'll definitely see a lot more of the Sonic. What do you even want to call that? The posse?
I guess Sonic Team?
Sonic Team, sure.
I mean, we got all these characters that haven't really been used since, like, Heroes.
06, but those were only... Oh, they were all technically playable in 06. Except for, like, the Team Chaotic stuff.
That's interesting with Team Chaotic, specifically considering that Knuckles was part of their team at one point in time. I don't think they ever explored that within the Sonic game universe.
Not since, no.
Like, I mean, it's kind of weird that they would have that. Maybe Knuckles will return to that team again if they are talking about a Resistance. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Now, since we have seen this world and it seems to be in complete and utter turmoil, maybe Eggman has succeeded in taking over the world. If that has happened, that means instead of Sonic and Classic Sonic ending up in Sonic's timeline, I don't know why and how they would attempt to do this. Well, then again, I mean, that's a lie because they somehow managed to have Sonic crossover in the storybooks without really explaining it too well. They could just have him, for whatever reason, him crossing over to a future universe or whatever, in which Eggman is competent and maybe has taken over, and him and Classic Sonic, how he got there, I don't know. Maybe this is Classic Sonic's world. It looks really weird for that to be his world, but then again, we're only seeing it in a 3D perspective. We haven't really seen it in a 2D perspective. So maybe it's somehow Classic Sonic's world, and Sonic has ended up in his other self's universe, and Eggman has taken over, and now Classic Sonic has to seek the help of modern day. This is getting confusing. Has to somehow seek modern Sonic's help. I'm kind of pulling this out of nowhere because I don't know what's going on here. I don't know where this is taking place. But first of all, I feel like we're probably get some gameplay maybe by this year, at the end of this year. 'Cause I feel like maybe like kind of.
I'm hoping, but I'm actually thinking probably the early next year. Considering this is probably a November, December release of 2017.
Those are some gigantic robots, man. I don't think Eggman's ever designed anything that big before.
Probably not.
And they actually worked.
Yeah, they're actually doing their intended purpose.
I'm looking at this trailer right now, and he's just being debris is just being tossed at him, and Sonic is just floating in midair while he jumps.
No, number one never gonna happen plot twist. This is actually the Archie comics, and both of them got thrown into it. So we're gonna have third Sonic that's voiced by Jaleel White.
I don't think Jaleel will ever come back.
No, he will not. But that's why I said number one plot twist that will never happen.
This could be a different universe that somehow Eggman took over, which kind of begs the question how they ended up where they are then. Because we haven't done that yet, where Eggman's actually successfully taken over the world, because that's kind of been his main shtick.
Yeah. Except for Sonic Sad AM in this Archie comics.
Well, I think in that comic, they're... Okay, I'm looking...
Well,
I paused the video just to get a look at these giant robots. And it might just be maybe we're looking at a very weird view. But I don't notice, and I know this is a fact, because Eggman likes to put his face on his machines.
Yeah.
I don't see his emblem on them.
I don't either.
As big as these robots are, you would think his face would be plastered on them. So maybe this isn't Eggman's doing? But then that kind of begs the question, who is this then?
Whoever it is definitely used, because this is 100% an Eggman design. We've seen this design. We saw this design in Generations, with the exception of the face part, because the face part in Generations is obviously Dr. Eggman's face, but here it is something completely different. Also, it's way freaking bigger than it was in Generations.
Yeah, these robots are a lot bigger than something that Eggman could have done by himself. But then kind of brings up another really crazy thought is... Did classic Eggman ever show up in Generations?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Because I was about to say if he hadn't, maybe they're gonna pull something really crazy with these two. Since that's already been done.
That or we do third future Dr. Eggman.
The only thing I would think, and I gotta re-look at Nega Eggman just to see. Considering how more competent Eggman Nega was. It could be maybe Eggman just didn't get a chance to put his face on them, and maybe they got launched off early. Because if these are Eggman designs, I don't know who could have gotten their hands on them besides some random enemy we haven't seen. And considering they probably won't be getting any crossovers from Chronicles, this is weird. If you don't know what I'm talking about the RPG.
Yeah, I know it. I don't know the story of that RPG at all, but
I forgot I played
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Had something to do with Knuckles.
Had something to do with aliens and Knuckles, and I think there was yeah.
You need to complete that game. I guess they never will. I'm looking and trying so hard to see if I'm missing something, but I can't.
I think we basically went over everything because there's not a lot left.
There's just destruction.
Yeah.
It's a surprise how Eggman managed to take over an entire city before Sonic was able to do anything about it. Which kind of makes me think that did Eggman finally get smart and decide to do something that he probably should have done a long time ago since he had the technology? Fling himself into the future where he actually managed to stop the world without Sonic's intervention. Because he hasn't done that yet, actually. And once he's done that, he would have exhausted every plan he could have easily come up with. I guess right now the biggest question is the story, because right now it doesn't look very... You can't tell anything other than just whatever's happened has happened already. The sun is freaking setting, there's fire over the place. I mean, whatever happened has already happened. But my biggest question, like right now, this is really bugging me. I do not see the Eggman symbol on any of these robots. And not saying that Eggman's the only person, evil genius in Sonic's universe, because we haven't seen any others. I mean, shit, what if Tails got evil? Like, what if Tails just got sick of being Sonic's shadow and just went evil?
Join the resistance is the resistance against Tails.
Because everybody hates Tails anyway. I mean, it's kind of
Number-
a pretty funny plot twist.
Number 2 plot twist that will never happen. This is all Tails doing.
I want another plot twist. Tails teamed up with Eggman and helped him destroy the world.
God dang it, this is gonna have to be like a top 10 video now. Top 10 plot twists that'll never happen.
I got plenty. I'll be here all week. I guess that's. I thought I may have saw something in the eyes. I didn't. That was just my.
No,
that was just me
it's
hoping.
just a.
That was just me hoping.
Just a red eye. I'm trying to look through because the only thing I can think of is that I don't think Eggman was plastered all over the Sonic Unleashed robots all that much.
I'm pretty sure they were plastered on this. I had to look at the game myself, but I'm pretty sure like Eggman's biggest motif, and has always been this way, is somewhere on his creations he puts his face on it. It's always been a thing with him, or actually not placing his face, but they were colored. They were colored in his image. And I don't think the robots here are colored in his image. You can barely tell with all that darkness. The only thing that's really similar on them is just, yeah, I'm looking at the robots closer, and the only thing that's similar to Eggman is the shape of the robots. So maybe he's doing something different. Maybe instead of putting his face on the robots, he's actually putting some of that money towards trying to make them actually impenetrable.
Now, here's the thing. This is just a teaser trailer.
Yeah,
so
I know. I'm thinking about this too much.
All of this could change, and basically all they're trying to get across is a tone. So, like, maybe that's probably not even the final design of the robots. Maybe this is really late in the game. Maybe this is like a final area, possibly after he took over. Kind of like Eggman Land.
Oh god, Eggman, man, I was not expecting that. That was just
Plot twist number 4, Eggman Land, Part 2. Except for now, it's the entire world.
yeah. Access is trying to turn the entire world into a amusement park. That's just weird to me. Of death and doom and destruction. But yeah, this is a teaser trailer. I'm thinking about this too much, but it just seems really weird that they would show this of all scenes that they could have animated CGI. They decide to bring us into this world with Sonic running into danger, which is something he always does. So that's not really too surprising, but you never really see a lot of destruction already happening until you're playing the game. And usually it comes and hits you in the face. So you never really expect it too soon, but it just like, okay, something happened here. Whoever it is, it might not even be Eggman. I mean, who's to say that they're using Eggman again? But I can't really think of any other enemy that they've. Actually, I don't think there's been any other enemies besides the ones in the storybook games. That was that Eggman. Technically speaking, Unleashed, because technically speaking, the evil that you had to fight was Gaia at the end of it.
Right.
Spoiler if you hadn't played the game.
But it was Eggman's fault.
Yeah, he kind of unleashed it. Which is something Eggman seems to do is get some omnipotent power, try to control them, and at the end of the day, you all know he's gonna fail because he never succeeds.
Yeah, the last like actual enemy that we saw and fought since wow, I think now I'm thinking it's like the only one, but Sonic 06 with what's his face, dumb hedgehog, the hedgehog. Morpheus?
Mephiles?
Not Morpheus. Mephiles, there we go.
Oh yeah, he hasn't come back, has he? Because he's technically immortal, isn't he?
He never will. Plot twist number 5, Mephiles.
Yeah, this is definitely
it'll
not
never
some
happen.
omnipotent power and magic abilities. Whatever's going on, like somebody knows their way around tech.
This could be. I think it would actually be really interesting if they, because what they've kind of been doing with Eggman is he's not a threat anymore. He's kind of just this wacky guy that's wants to take over the world, but is so incompetent that he never will. So, what if this is the story of kind of? We've seen this story before. I'm trying to think about what movie it was in, but basically, competent enemy comes in and uses Eggman's tech to take over the world and actually fully realizes what Eggman should have a long time ago.
Yeah, that'd be something that's already been done, but in the case of the Sonic universe, this has never happened to Eggman.
Yeah.
And considering him being used instead of him trying to use something else.
With the exception of freaking Sonic Boom, so which we're not going to talk about.
Wait, that actually happened in Sonic Boom? I didn't ever play the game, so I don't really know.
Eggman created a bunch of, Eggman didn't create a bunch of robots, he just found a bunch of robots, but then Lyric basically took control of the robots away from Eggman.
I mean, what could really be feasible is that somehow Eggman got some hands on some ancient tech. And I mean, really ancient tech to the point where it's probably more advanced than anything he could create by himself.
Yeah.
And maybe he come across some type of ancient consciousness. I mean, we haven't seen, besides Mecha Sonic, which he probably won't be coming back anytime soon. In a sense, like, we haven't seen any ancient consciousness come back. I mean, at this point, we definitely know that Gaia still exists. Well, if we're going by the continuity of the series, Gaia is still in the Earth, and he's supposed to wake every some odd years. So he won't be reusing that plot device.
It's like thousands of years,
time.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's like thousands of years, so yeah, none of that's gonna happen.
Yeah, like, I feel like maybe there's a way that they could maybe have some evil tech rise, something like maybe that Eggman found or he's aware of. Should they even bring in Gerald Robotnik, his grandfather, and have something to do with him? That maybe he did something, because they seem to be really good about bringing something up in the middle of something that happened like so many years ago that you would think, why would this matter now? And all of a sudden, oh my God, it matters now. Like they did in Sonic Adventure 2, like the whole Shadow storyline, if it kind of coincided with the ending of the game.
The more I watch this, the more scared I am that this actually is just the city from City Escape, and we're going to be playing through old levels again.
I mean, the game did so well. I mean, I guess in their minds they're like, oh, well, just give it again.
I know, but I've specifically gone on record saying that if I'm 100% okay with you cashing in on your nostalgia once, Nintendo once, but if you try to do it again and again and again, I'm going to get pissed off at you. New Super Mario Brothers, stop doing that. So if they do, if this is literally just Sonic Generations 2 again, we're gonna be playing through old levels. I'm gonna have to rip this game a new one, but I really hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I might be thinking like this too much. It could be Eggman's new design. He has done this.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got two robots that don't look anything like something he's made before.
Yeah.
I'm talking about looking at you, Hubert. And then it's Smart Robot, which actually another plot twist that might actually kind of happen. Those robots go rogue and they start doing pretty much what they've been making fun of Eggman to do this entire time. They actually succeed.
Number 6. Orbot has been a secret mastermind behind everything the entire time.
Actually, I would like that actually if like those little robots. Cause like I like the Ron robot so much because he's so snarky. It's like
Yeah.
I kind of almost wish that's what happened. Is at the very beginning of the game, you see the Eggman's coming up with some stupid plan, maybe strap Sonic in some glue and say, okay, this will stop the spastic speed little hedgehog. It's like, really? Can we just do this? Can we just blow up a grenade? How about we make these robots that have been sitting here for 10 years? I don't have to explain why I know this. Just because I'm a robot. Just like, use these robots, and he just gets pissed off and just like upload his consciousness into the computer mainframe of Eggman's lab and just takes over. Like that probably be the ultimate like not cliffhanger, but the ultimate like plot hole right there. Not plot hole, but ultimate like twist right there is that he's the mastermind now. Eggman can't do a thing. He got kicked out of his lab, so now he has to go to Sonic for help. And somehow Eggman gets a hold of some time hole powers and brings in classic Sonic. I don't know. They don't have to explain every single thing because they obviously don't.
If they're gonna do that with anybody, it would be Mecha Sonic.
That's if his consciousness is still somewhere laying about. I mean, not saying it is.
Which it is. He brings them out from time to time. Not always, but every once in a while.
Maybe kind of weird though. You've had this ultimate killing machine in the background for whatever reason. Haven't tried to make him follow your commands, because clearly he doesn't. This robot thinks he's Sonic the Hedgehog. You haven't used this to your advantage, and I mean, for crying out loud, you had the guy go Godzilla and Sonic Heroes. No, actually, that was his own doing. Never mind. Good lord, man, Mecha Sonic's a better villain than Eggman.
He is. That's what makes it funny.
But I guess
no,
50 minutes in here, there's nothing more, just other than more and more speculation that could just dive in. We can just keep diving in this rabbit hole. I know Z-Man's got his own video that he's gonna be scripting out about. Can't wait to see how that's gonna end.
Yeah.
25th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. All we got is a CGI trailer, which people seem to really hate. I don't really have anything for it. I have nothing against it either, so I'm just gonna wait till whenever. I'm hoping and expecting there's gonna be something happening holiday of this year. I feel like maybe like November they'll show something, even if it's just a tiny bit of gameplay. I think they have to show the kind of older fans something by the end of this year, because people have been aware of this game's existence for a long time.
That's still so far away.
I mean, I don't see it happening any other time soon, because like I mean, apparently they're still working on it. I mean, they gave a vague release date for the first time in a long time that it's happening next year.
It's a year and a half away.
So whatever they're doing, clearly they're trying to get all the ducks in a row. Maybe we'll see something next month. Maybe I'm being a little bit too pessimistic about when they're releasing something, because all game companies do this. But we'll have to see something, because we don't know what they're doing. All I know is that something is off about those robots' design that I'm looking at now. It kind of bugs me that I don't see anything reminiscent to Eggman's thing, because he's always somehow, even if it isn't his face, he somehow managed to put himself into his robot's image. I don't know how, why. Is he just that vain? I don't even know.
He is. Like that's the point.
There's something off about
those
robots.
I'm looking a couple things up here. Because they generally release their first trailer about 6 months before the game comes out. So we're getting one a year and a half before the game comes out, which is extremely odd for Sonic Team. But the other really odd thing is that we've basically been getting a new 3D Sonic game every 2 to 3 years. This game's going to have a 4-year development cycle, so they're not being rushed, which is a really good thing.
Yeah, whatever's going on with the development of this game, it's cool. The fact they're releasing a trailer or a CGI trailer a year ahead. I mean, it's like they're definitely confident in what they're about to release to the public, since they've had this development going on. So I guess we'll see. I'm pretty sure that maybe we'll get something like next month, or maybe in September in the fall, because fall is gonna be September in general is going to be a killer in everybody's wallet. I wish I didn't have money, so that way I didn't have to feel the pain coming soon. Because that's coming, and then in November, and then Sun and the Moon's coming out. Oh god, dang it.
Maybe we get something during the Tokyo Game Show in September. Maybe.
I just feel like they gotta show something. They can't just show the CGI trailer and then say, well, that's what we're gonna get this year. Well, I mean, they can, but that wouldn't be good. But yeah, this is the 25th anniversary video. Much more just about speculation. If I ever have the time, I might do a top 10 video. I don't really do those because, well, they kind of gotta be scripted, and I kind of like doing things off the cuff. That's why I do Let's Plays.
Oh yeah.
You'll be seeing Z-Man's video. Either it'll be up before this video goes up, or it'll be up after.
No idea.
You have to play that. He's gonna have to play that by ear.
I wanted to do it right after I got off work, and then I fell asleep, so that didn't happen yet. So
well, you have plenty of time
maybe
now.
A little bit later.
So I guess that's it for this video. Thanks again. I think for the 10th time you've been on my channel. That's probably an exaggeration, but you're pretty much the only guy who's actually responded to anything I sent on Twitter. Feel kind of bad about that.
Oh, that's fine, dude.
So this is maybe the third Sonic topic video. I'm not sure what's gonna happen next with the rest of Sonic for this year, because they haven't released anything for a handheld game yet. No, Sonic Boom. Dang it.
Sonic Boom is coming. Oh, that's the only game we're getting for the 25th anniversary.
And I won't be playing it. From the sounds of it,
Nope.
people are saying that it's definitely better than, it's definitely what they wanted, and that they didn't get from Sonic Boom, the first one. So I guess that's something.
It's the 3DS Sonic Boom game again, which was better than the Wii U Sonic Boom game, but still not a good game.
And shot down at the end of the video. See you guys next time.